on the vlog again. Just can't wait to do a vlog again. The life I love is making vlogs for my friends, and I can't wait to do a vlog again. Doing a vlog again. Going places that I've never been. Seeing things that I may never see again. And I can't wait to do a vlog again. Hello everyone and welcome back to The Top Vloggers. As always, I am your host. I am Mighty Joe, hanging out with
your co-host, the lovely Cat.
And boy, have we got a great vlog for you today. We are at the historic Paradise Springs. It should be fun, it should be exciting, and it should be very educational.
You can join us on all of our social media websites, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Top Vloggers. Also, if you'd like to help us reach the top, you can do so by going to www.patreon.com/thetopvloggers. Without your help and support, these vlogs will be almost impossible to do. There will be a link in the description below.
And if you are new here, don't forget you can hit that subscribe button, take it one step further, and ring the notification bell to keep you up to date on all the future adventures that we will be going on the channel. So let's get going. Today's vlog brings us to Paradise Spring Historical Park. Let's go inside and learn a little bit more. This is Paradise Springs Treaty Ground. At Treaty Grounds, 2 blocks east in October 1826, the Potawatomi and Miami tribes signed treaties with the United States, ceding land north of the Wabash River. The treaties included provisions for land and a canal and the Michigan Road.
Cleveland, Cincinnati, Chicago, and St. Louis Railway Big 4 route. The passenger station was built in 1902. The bottom floor had waiting rooms, ticket office, baggage room, and restaurant, while the second floor contained the offices for the division. Passenger service in Wabash ended in 1950. The station was torn down November 1966. The Cincinnati, Wabash, and Michigan Railroad reached the grounds now known as Paradise Springs Park, September of 1872, and proceeded to build the railroad shops. The shops opened in 1873. In 1981, the CW&M Rye became part of the Cleveland, Cincinnati, Chicago, and St. Louis Railroad, known as the Big 4. The shops remained in operation until October 23, 1894. Kim-Kong-Awong Spring. The treaty between the United States and the Miami Tribe of Indians was held near this spring, October 23, 1826. U.S. Commissioners Lewis Cass, James B. Ray, and John Tipton. Now
This is that old lonesome railroad that they were talking about. This is where that train would come in. Paradise Spring Riverwalk. In the early 1820s, the northern half of Indiana had very little white settlement. The Miami and Potawatomi Indians had suffered serious defeats at the hands of General Anthony Wayne along the Maumee River, 1794, and William Henry Harrison at the Battle of Tippecanoe, which we have been to in previous vlogs, 1811. However, they still held the rights to the land in this area. There was a need for additional land for white settlement and the need to establish a canal system along the Wabash River. In 1826, Congress made an appropriation to hold a treaty meeting with the purpose of acquiring additional land from the Indians. Governor James B. Ray of Indiana, Governor Lewis Cass of Michigan, and Captain John Tipton were appointed commissioners to represent the United States government. Captain Tipton was assigned the task of locating a site for this meeting. The location was chosen as it was centrally located with many favorable natural features. These features included a plentiful spring and enough open land to construct the treaty camp. The treaty camp was constructed in the spring and summer of 1826. The treaty meeting took place in October of 1826 and lasted approximately 2 weeks. On October 26, 1826, the Miami and Potawatomi Indians surrendered the rights to their land in northern Indiana and southern Michigan. The signing of the Treaty of 1826 allowed for white settlement of this land and the construction of the Wabash and Erie Canal. The original treaty camp consisted of 10 buildings. The reconstruction of the camp began in 1987 and is based on a reliable description provided in the 1836 writings of Elijah Hackelman. Now this says it was the Jim Smith Cookhouse, the cook's cabin. Meals for the treaty participants was prepared in the cook's cabin. While the exact number of participants is not known, is documented that the Potawatomi and the Miami tribes camped on both sides of the Wabash River, numbered in the several hundreds. The spring reported significant to meet the needs of 3,000 persons ran through a ravine west of the cook's cabin. Wow.
Quarters of James B. Ray, Governor of Indiana, 1825 to 1831. Born in Jefferson County, Kentucky, Governor Ray studied law at the University of Cincinnati and established a practice in Brookville, Indiana. Prior to being elected governor, he served 1 term as a state representative and 2 terms as a state senator. He later became a major supporter of railroad development and envisioned Indianapolis with railroads radiating from its center.
Now this was the quarters of Lewis Cass, the governor of Michigan. He was born in New Hampshire and a veteran of the War of 1812. Governor Cass was a skilled maker of treaties. In 1831, President Andrew Jackson appointed Governor Cass Secretary of War. He later served as minister to France. In the mid-1840s, he was elected to the United States Senate. He was the Democratic Party nominee for president in 1848, but lost to Zachary Taylor. In 1857, President Buchanan appointed Cass the Secretary of State. His public service ended when he resigned in 1860 and returned to Michigan. Quarters of Major General John Tipton, Indian Agent, a veteran of the Battle of Tippecanoe, which we have been to in previous vlogs. General Tipton was appointed to the Indian Agency located in Fort Wayne, Indiana, by President Monroe. John Quincy Adams appointed Major General Tipton Indian Commissioner to oversee treaties with the Indians located in his jurisdiction. He served in this capacity until 1831. He was elected to the United States Senate in 1831 and distinguished himself by working for the good of the nation without reference to politics. I wish more politicians would do that today.
Quarters of Captain Frederick R. Kittner, head of military guard. During treaty negotiations, military guards stood around the clock watch. Captain Kittner was the officer in charge of these men. Guards were provided shelter when in camp, sufficient rations of beef and bread or flour with salt, and 1 gill or 1/4 of a pint of liquor per day. They were compensated for their services a sum of money not less than 50 cents and not more than $1 per day of service. In the fall of 1827, Kittner and his brother James Kittner located a saddle and harness making business on the north side of the Wabash River. It was located near a small stream that is presently known as Kittner Creek. Council House. The Council House was used by the commissioners during negotiations and preparation of the Treaty of 1826. Following the completion of the treaty signing, it continued to play an important role in the development of the area. In the spring of 1827, the Samuel McClure Sr. family relocated from Ohio and lived a short time in the Council House. They are regarded as the first permanent settlers in Wabash County. In 1830, the first post office in Wabash County was established in this building. with David Burr as postmaster. In 1832, David Burr utilized the city council house to award contracts for the construction of the Wabash and Erie Canal. In 1834, Mr. Burr and Hugh Hanna platted Wabash Town at this site. For a short time in 1834, the council house was used for a school. Following the establishment of Wabash in 1834, David Burr and Hugh Hanna began holding meetings and strategy sessions in this building. Storage cabins. The original treaty camp had 4 storage cabins. In addition to storing goods and supplies for the camp, they also stored items for Indian trade. Traders were instructed to arrive with an attractive selection of items to be used in the treaty negotiations. These items included brilliantly colored cloth and blankets, items of clothing, furs, guns, glittering ornaments, barrels of whiskey, and tobacco.
We'll take a closer look at these cabins. All these things are locked, so you can't go inside of them. However, my lovely co-host did mention to me that the
Wabash Founders Day event will be here coming up in a couple weeks.
And that is a future vlog, so stay tuned for that.
They might be open then.
And they might be open then. If they are open then, we will be going through them and taking a look as well. Looks like over there you have bathrooms that they have established now. I assume that those bathrooms probably were not there back then, but they are there now if you need to use them. As you see, they got some really nice picnic benches there, picnic tables. If you want to have a small picnic, this would be a nice place to do it. Well, I think that's going to do it for us here today. We have had a wonderful time on this vlog. Learned a lot about the history of Paradise Spring, and I enjoyed every bit of it.
I enjoyed it as well. Don't forget to stay tuned for our future endeavors.
And I think we will see you again tomorrow with another vlog just for you. Until then, Top Vloggers out.